I will say I've had a ton of babysitters, but one thing I will say is that there is this one babysitter back when I was a kid that was so bizarre. So bizarre to the point where I think she liked babysitting for more than the reasons she was telling me. But before we get into the story, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's just jump straight into this insane story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a really weird story. So today's story takes place back when I was a kid, and this was actually in my grade 10 year of high school. I know that's not really a kid, but to be honest, I still consider myself immature and stupid, so I'm gonna call myself a kid because that's what kids are. No offense to all the kids watching this video, which is probably all of you. But going on though, I remember back when I was a kid and I had a babysitter in my grade 10 year. I won't lie to you, I thought I was too old to have a babysitter. I thought it was dumb, stupid, and to be honest, when I told my friends that I was gonna have a babysitter come over and take care of me while my parents were away, they all laughed at me, which makes sense. But at the same time though, the reason my parents gave me a babysitter was because all the times they left me alone in the house with no one watching me, I've always ended up breaking something or basically doing something I was not supposed to. For example, run a huge party that one time when I was not supposed to. Mom, Dad, I still apologize for that, and I swear I'll pay you back for that vase. But going on though, I remember one time when I was sitting in my room playing my Xbox, my mom ended up walking into my room saying, "Bubba, me and your daddy got accepted to go to a cruise." "Oh, that's cool, Mom," is what I said. And then afterwards, my dad ended up coming into the room saying, "Yes, but we'll be giving you a babysitter, so don't get any ideas." Why am I getting a babysitter? I'm in grade 10, Mom. "That's not the point. You need to make sure you're well behaved. The babysitter will be here at 7:30. "Wait, she's coming tonight?" "Yes, and you must behave." Honestly, at that point, I was really annoyed and really upset, but I won't lie to you, I didn't know what else to do. So I remember from there, I ended up basically kind of just messaging my friends saying that I can't hop on late tonight because I have to be here ready for the babysitter. My friends ended up laughing at me as usual because they thought it was dumb for me to have a babysitter, which I'm not gonna lie, they're right to laugh about because I was too old. Like, I'm in grade 10. I don't need a babysitter. Sorry, I'm getting really upset even though now I'm 22 years old living in my own apartment. But the point is that honestly, I thought I was too mature to have a babysitter. But honestly, when this babysitter ended up coming over to my place, let's just say things ended up being really different. Now, I remember when the babysitter ended up coming through the door, I ended up meeting her and actually walking up to her saying, "Hi, I'm the kid you're taking care of." I remember she looked at me from head to toe and basically found it really weird that I was a lot older than a lot of her people that she would usually babysit. But obviously, I ended up telling her how my parents just didn't trust me and this was just going to be an easy breeze. Just let me stay in my room, play Xbox all night, and just don't annoy me. She ended up agreeing and basically just sitting down on the couch, and from there I ended up just basically, you know, showing her the place a little bit and make her feel like she was at home. I remember when I was showing her around the house, I remember I ended up asking how old she was, even though you're definitely not supposed to ask how old a woman is, but I ended up asking her anyway because she looked a lot younger than most babysitters I've had, other than the one from high school, which you guys should actually go check out. But going on though, I remember I ended up walking up to her as she was sitting on the couch saying, "How old are you?" I'm just curious, like I don't mean to be mean in any way. I know that's like a mean thing to say. She ended up looking at me saying, "Oh no, it's not mean at all. I'm 29. "You're 29 years old?" As if 29 was such a crazy number, and now that I'm 22, realizing what I said to her was probably really mean, but that's not the point. Going on though, I remember she looked at me and she's like, "Yeah, I know. It's just, you know, babysitting's just my passion." And then at that point, I actually wanted to know why was it her passion? Like, did she like Mary Poppins? Was she a Nanny McPhee fan? Like, why did she want to be a babysitter? So I sat down beside her and asked her, and the answer I got was actually really depressing because she ended up telling me, "Oh, just to be honest, like I just could never like handle a relationship, and one of my dream goals is to be like, you know, a mom. Like I just want to be a mom to a baby, and I just want a kid so bad." "You want a kid? Like that's the reason for babysitting? You take care of other people's babies just to have a kid?" But I didn't say that, obviously. I ended up telling her instead, "Oh, that's kind of sad. Well, like, why don't you just like, you know, just go and like just make a baby with someone?" She ended up looking at me laughing saying, "It's not that easy, Bubba. You wouldn't understand." And at that point, we ended up just leaving it all. Honestly, I didn't want to get too much into detail because obviously it seemed like an origin story of a really bad supervillain. So from there, I ended up going up to my room and playing Xbox with me and the boys. And when the boys ended up asking me where my babysitter was and why isn't she, you know, wiping my butt, which makes sense because that's what babysitters do with babies, but I wasn't a baby. I remember I ended up telling the boys how she seemed really sad and like, you know, she actually like just wants a kid. That's why she takes care of other people's babies. And at that point, they ended up laughing, which I'm not surprised. It's the boys. We laugh at everything. Like, we still laugh at poo-poo and pee-pee jokes, for God's sakes. Like, honestly, I don't blame him. But going on from there, I remember I ended up basically just kind of just playing and just doing my own thing. And a couple hours later, I want to say around like 9:30 at night, I ended up going downstairs and I heard her over the phone. I heard her over the phone talking to some ex-boyfriend apparently that she was on the phone with. And this guy was really giving her a really harsh conversation. Like, I'm not joking. He was straight up yelling at her over the phone, saying that she was worthless, that she was, you know, never gonna have a kid with her, and that, you know, she wouldn't want to basically do the devil's tango with her to make a kid ever. Like, apparently he would rather do sand, which sand hurts. Going on from there, I remember I ended up basically running up to her and just hanging up the phone and just saying, listen, like, you don't need to talk to people to have a baby. Just if you're really interested in someone, just have a baby with them. And apparently right after that moment, her eyes opened wider when I told her those words, and things became really sus. And by sus, I mean really sus to the point where she ended up coming really close to me and she started making out with me. Now at this point, I didn't know what this meant. If she liked me, if she just wanted to kiss someone because she was so alone, or she wanted to have a baby with me. So I remember at that point, I was kind of worried and sussed out, but obviously I didn't push away. I'm not gonna lie, for 29, she was pretty hot. And then from there, I remember she ended up basically grabbing my wrist and walking me up to the bedroom as if she was gonna put me to bed. But at that point, I told her, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not tired. She looked at me and said, we're not going to bed, silly. And then that's when she ended up taking me into the bedroom, and she basically ended up taking off her clothing. Now at this point, I started panicking because obviously, one, Xbox microphone was on and I forgot to mute, so everything that was happening and being said in that room, the boys could all hear, which is really embarrassing. And second, there was no way I was gonna do the devil's tango with my babysitter. Even though I've done it before, which is on the channel, by the way, and go check it out, I'm not gonna do it again. So at that point, I remember I ended up pushing away and I ended up telling her, yo, listen, like, I get it, you want a kid, but this is not the way to do it. And also, I'm too young to have a kid. She ended up looking at me saying, oh, like, to be honest, I thought the same thing, but now look at me. I'm 29 and still no baby. Like, I'm running out of time, which makes sense because isn't it like the age of having a baby, like, get like really harder the more you age? I don't know the specifics on it. Women, if you're watching this channel, comment down below, when can women like the latest have a baby? I actually don't know. But yeah, one thing led to another. I ended up doing the one thing I knew best, and that was running to my bathroom, closing the door, and calling my mom saying, Mom, this babysitter wants to have a baby with me. And my parents ended up actually canceling the trip, and luckily they weren't far away at that point, and they ended up driving back, and basically after the long 2-hour drive, they ended up having my babysitter that was there that day go to therapy. And that is how my babysitter wanted to have a baby with me. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, just follow for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.